Hello everybody, Physics here again. So sadly, I already finished the other Dark Pact video. Of course, directly afterwards, as was foretold in that video, they released gym info. So this video will not just be about Dark Pact gym changes, but just about the gym changes that stood out to me specifically. These aren't the only like meaningful changes. Sorry, excuse me. I've literally recorded so many videos today, I'm losing my voice. These aren't the only videos that stood out to me, or as like good or buffed or etc. These are just the ones that like personally will affect me, and the ones that I'm like looking forward to a lot are ones that surprised me. So first and foremost with the new ones, Tornado looks pretty good. This is like, you could obviously put things on this, but it looks like it could be a pretty decent one link wonder, honestly. You could throw this out just like on bosses or whatever for free damage, especially if you have projectiles. It looks all right at gym level 20. Poisonous Concoction looks really nice. May actually do a build for this. I had literally zero interest in the Explosive Concoction. Even the buffs to Explosive Concoction look nice, but I just don't care about that skill at all. Poisonous Concoction though looks very cool. Specifically also because you get to use Plaguebringer, and Plaguebringer got quite buffed this league. So yeah, and then this Poisonous Concoction looks absolutely nuts. Just yeah, Poisonous Concoction looks pretty nice. Anyway, so let's get into the gyms. Real quick, off the cuff, VMS, this looks fine. These changes look good. Not a whole lot to say here. Scrolling down a little bit, Absolution, +4 to radius, huge. Also, this was really annoying. 25% chance to summon a Sentinel Absolution on hitting a rare or unique enemy. If you played this at all last patch, I used it a lot to level new builds. It was actually like really OP for like leveling Witch, I think, after the buffs. But this was like incredibly infuriating trying to get new Sentinels out. Going into like new zones or after like relogging or whatever, when you go in and there's like no white mobs, it's just like a rare pack or something right there, and you just can't summon any Sentinels because you can't kill it. Super annoying. Very much needed change in my opinion for quality of life. But yeah, the +4 to radius is like massive. That skill with more radius may actually be like pretty strong this league. After the buffs last league, like it did good damage, but it just like, you couldn't clear effectively, like towards, it was good for leveling, but you couldn't clear effectively towards, like once most characters start to take off and clear faster, you couldn't keep up, man. The radius is so small. So hopefully +4 along with some of the other AoE nodes you can get. Hopefully that makes it really nice. Looks good. So Determination, obviously, I talked about this in my league starter video and all that stuff. We already knew this was coming, but this is huge, very nice buff. Definitely see if you can fit Determination in your builds. If you don't know, there's also I believe it's the armor masteries on the tree. Yep, right there. Determination has 25% increased mana reservation efficiency, so just a lot easier to fit in, not just a flat 50% reservation. Now, another big one here, this is actually pretty decent. So they changed Dread Banner. Obviously, the way Fortify works was changed. So you lose 1% increased Fortify effect per stage, but you gain 10% to maximum fortification for 0.05 seconds per stage on placing the banner. Now, I believe, I haven't played PoE in like a month. Max Dread Banner stacks is 50, which would mean if you threw this down at max stacks, which you always should be, even during boss fights, because you can get Dread Banner stacks without killing things. It's 2.5 seconds, I believe, of the increased fortification, which honestly is pretty good. You throw that down before like a hit or whatever you're going to take from the boss. 2.5 seconds is a decent amount of mitigation, especially during like intense times in like a boss fight, like Shaper Bullet Hell or something like that, or like Cirrus. Just there's times where this could definitely see use, and just getting literally plus 10% less damage taken for 2.5 seconds is actually pretty good. I'm surprised at the change. It looks actually pretty nice on paper. So this is probably the one that stuck out the most to me. This is huge. It looks very juicy, especially since, I'm all about RF builds. Infernal Cry now has the trigger tag, which is nuts. This should theoretically mean that you could put this in a cast when damage taken setup. It's not really clarified. Hopefully that's what it means. Yeah, I don't know, because we would have to see the logistics of it, but if you could put that, like, it's super clunky on like Inquisitor RF. It feels really good to have Infernal Cry, but obviously you don't take Warcry nodes or anything, so it comes out super slow and it feels clunky. If you could throw this in like a cast when damage taken setup or something like that, or maybe even get like super spicy and a cast when killed or whatever setup, cast on kill, and it triggers and you could bypass the some of the cast time for it or something. We'll have to see. This is like wild speculation on my part, but having the trigger tag means maybe potentially you could do that. It seems really cool. I really hope it works that way, because it would make RF clearing feel really nice with the pops from Infernal Cry. Hopefully that's how it works. I don't know. We'll have to see. I could be completely wrong, but very excited for that. It's very big. Something else, a little bit lower. We're almost at the end of the video. I'll probably do Dark Pact last, because I think that's how it's going to work out here. Yeah, so with brands, there's Dark Pact. We'll skip it for now. With brands, you don't really need to see the info here, but with Wintertide brand and Penance brand, I think those are very, very big contenders for like doable builds this league. Not necessarily because of changes to the gyms, but let me see if I can find brands on the tree here. So with brand mastery, you actually get, where is it? Brands attached to a new enemy each time they activate, no more than once every 0.3 seconds. This is another one of those. They stole it straight off a cluster jewel and threw it on here. It was the whatever crusade. It was a medium cluster jewel that you could get on brand damage, I believe. And it was called like Holy Crusade or something along those lines. And it basically gave you this, which was a huge enabler for both Wintertide brand and Penance brand. Playing those builds without this cluster jewel was effectively like a no-go. They felt awful before getting this. Wintertide brand like effectively had no clear because you had to wait for the first mob to die. Normally that's not a big deal, but Wintertide brand has like basically 0 DPS at the start and ramps up slowly, or rather fast. But you know, when there's a trillion mobs on your screen and you throw it on a mob and it takes like a second and a half to kill the mob, it feels like an eternity. So it's spreading for like effective clear and stuff, huge for Wintertide brand. And then again, Penance brand, same thing, just massive like, I wouldn't say quality of life buffs, but literal build enablers. This is huge if you're like a broke player, a player who doesn't trade, or an SSF player. This is massive. This like lets you actually play around with Penance brand and Wintertide brand and it feel nice to play. Yeah. The very last one we're going to go over here, it's a little Sadge. Dark Pact, we got debated a little bit. Skeleton Dark Pact got pretty massively buffed. 6% to 8% skeleton life. Previously, you needed Anomalous Dark Pact, I believe it was. Max quality, you could get this, so now you just get it baseline. I wonder, actually, I didn't look. Yeah, they didn't change anything else, so I guess Anomalous Dark Pact will now do the exact same thing as normal Dark Pact. Well, I guess... no, the base gym's getting changed, so now you could get up to 10% skeleton life sacrifice. So that's huge. So compared to the 6%, that's almost a double damage increase if you get Anomalous Dark Pact. Anywho, the one we care about is self-cast. So they didn't actually give us any quality of life for self-casting it. It's just more damage. It got a lot more damage. 21% more damage with hits and ailments if using your life. Now, there's basically 0 reason to ever play an ailment build, in my opinion, using Dark Pact. Now that Hex Blast exists, they just kind of fill the same niche, except Hex Blast is a million times better for like if you wanted to do some crazy shit with Ignite or something. This is basically just for on hit. Yeah, I don't know. Just, yeah, you would only want to play this on hit, but this is it's a massive damage increase, but it doesn't really solve the problems that Dark Pact had. Self-cast, which is like sustainability, like it could feel okay while clearing, but the AoE was a little small, and like boss DPS, you would just instantly kill yourself because you need a lot of cast speed. You walk into the boss, you like, especially if you have on Unleash or Spell Echo, you just hold down the button for like 2 seconds and you're just dead. That being said, in the last video I said I would try to make it work anyway. So I'm gonna take this. We're gonna try to make a Dark Pact build around it. Probably, I don't know. There's 3 different ways we could go with this, right? We can go Inquisitor, since Inquisitor was massively buffed this league. With all the changes, it basically gets way more regen now, stuff like that. So you could go Inquisitor. Yeah, I could go Inquisitor and try to take advantage of like crit and tons of regen. You can go obviously Occultist, which is probably the most like, I wanted to say brain dead, sorry, I'm really tired. The most obvious one to go for. Going like Void Beacon into Withering Presence, and then grab Forbidden Power, and then probably Malediction. Profane Bloom, you might actually be able to just skip over that, because you'd probably just be going Herald of Ash anyway, especially since you'd be scaling crit and stuff. But if you wanted to clear, yeah, sure, take Profane Bloom, I guess. It doesn't matter, especially if you're in softcore and you just want to like super zoom maps, you could take Profane Bloom and get double explosions. But I imagine, especially with the changes to like curses and stuff, and being the mana reservation and all sorts of stuff like that, Malediction pretty much got buffed quite hard by the changes. So I think if I went Occultist, we'd go Void Beacon, Withering Presence, Forbidden Power, and Malediction, and then get our pops from Herald of Ice. And then last one being Trickster. This is like the weakest option by far, especially since Patient Reaper got nerfed. But Patient Reaper is kind of like the enabling part of this build. Also, Harness the Void gives you the chance to get that crazy damage with hits. But again, this one is like not as good as the other 2 options. It's basically just clearing will feel very comfy with this because of the crazy amount of regen and life on kill you get. So yeah, that being said, it's mostly just between Occultist and Inquisitor. We'll have to see. Occultist definitely solves AoE problems, but will almost certainly be much squishier than Inquisitor would be. Inquisitor would also probably take more gear to get working than Occultist, but might have a better like time in high-end content due to just the easier access to crit, and then just the insane amount of regen that Inquisitor has, especially in 3.16. Not exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a little bit more of quality of life. Obviously, with the new recoup mechanic in the game, this will obviously innately help a bunch for self-casting Dark Pact. Because if you look here, 4% of damage recouped his life, 4% of damage recouped his life, 12%, so that's 20%. And then over here, 6, 6, 18 is 30%. So just from taking these 2 clusters, 50% of damage recouped his life. And then, yeah, just scaling a bunch of like life regen like you would with like an RF build. And then just try to like out regen it. It's possible. We'll have to see how it is on like in game and not just on paper. We'll have to see how it actually plays out. I'm excited to still toy around with it. Definitely, I'm not league starting this. I don't recommend any of you guys league start with this. There's a very high chance it'll work. I don't know the like rate of success though. I don't know how far it can clear. I have a lot of concerns about bossing with the build. You can probably map fine with it, especially with a lot of the changes to the tree and whatnot. But bossing, which has always been the problem since the changes to Dark Pact, I'm concerned. Running the 50% damage recoup with a ton of life regen, and then using the new time warp ability might make this feasible on bosses. I just like, it's a lot of like regen that you have, but if you like think about like end game, how much cast speed you have, and like especially with Unleash and Spell Echo, how many times you're casting Dark Pact a second, like your health is just like flying down. Not nearly as bad as Forbidden Right. Exactly the same reason I don't think Forbidden Right self-cast is going to be played, but we're going to try to make Dark Pact work. I'm excited. Not as good as I was hoping for, but like I said, I'll make it on the promise, and we'll definitely do a self-cast Dark Pact build this league. Let me know in the comments what you think will be better between Occultist or Inquisitor. We'll talk it out, whatever. What gym changes did you guys like? If you made it this far in the video, be sure to let me know down below. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. If you like me, maybe consider subscribing. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Remember, soon as League, about an hour or two before League launch, I will be live on Twitch. Same handle will be down below, Twitch Physics. Again, links for all my socials will be down below. Feel free to join Discord if you want help with your League starter build or anything like that. But yeah, that's gonna be it. See you guys in the next one.